Hey everyone, moving right along. I hope you guys enjoyed the Batmobile. I'm going to be fast forwarding now, basically doing to my college years. I went to Kennesaw State University. Go Owls! Hoot hoot! Anyways, so between semesters, I would start a project or something. It was really a way for me to vent, especially when you're a broke college student. So I would start a project, and as school progressed, time became even more limited. So a lot of these projects I would start just to see if I could do it, and the intent was to go back and I'm in love with my ADD. Oh look, a bunny. So a lot of these are unfinished, but the core concept is there, and I intend to go back to these. So kicking right in, I'm going to try to get to 5 quick vehicles. And the closest one that was to being finished is the 56 Flash Cider. And if you remember, this truck, it was popular casting was in like an aqua blue color, no interior, nothing. But what I did was I grafted, and these cars here, the unifying theory or concept is grafting and bodywork. I grafted the NASCAR C100, believe there was a Chevrolet casting roof onto the 56 Flash Cider body and gave it a more current look. I gave it a tilt hood, and that tilt hood works. It's got a little bit of roll cage detail here. The engine, believe it or not, was from a McDonald's Happy Meal Roadster. I added the plug wires. I actually added a belt to the pulley. It was a very detailed engine. That was very, it was a nice casting. The headers were a little bit overwhelming. There's a little brake master cylinder there. But and the roll cages come down. The wheels, again, I got to the point where I was pretty, thorough in keeping Hot Wheel parts with Hot Wheel cars. And this actually rolls because that's something else I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to play with cars. And so that's the casting there. I had to do some trim work here to get the headers to come out the other side, and it's the underside of the cab. So when we pull this off, I'll show you a little bit more detail. You can see the underside there where I grafted that on. Pretty smooth. There's a little bit of a seam. This was my first attempt. The interior is basically I rolled a sheet of tin and custom fabricated a center console. The dash here, the console, the gauge cluster, is from a Johnny Lightning vehicle. I don't remember specifically which one, but at this point cars were getting more and more detailed. Steering wheel is from another car. I doubt it's from a Hot Wheel. It might be from a Johnny Lightning or a Racing Champions type car. This right here is just a way to keep it attached to this base. The seats are from a Corvette from a Racing Champions issue, and the center console is actually from a Hot Wheels Camaro. It just had a little bit of detail that I wanted to get, and I wanted to keep the whole Chevy theme. I'm not a particular fan of Chevy, but I just believe in keeping it all together. The front swings forward. There's a little bit of detail in the front. It's a custom crafted Chevrolet logo that I did out of 2 pieces of vinyl, and then I hand painted the details on the headlights. Somewhat detailed. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a metallic underlay with the orange paint over top. So that was the Flash Cider. It's got a little custom tonneau cover. I found some black matte vinyl and was able to coat that. So that's that vehicle. I did practice my hinge techniques, and this next casting is really cool. The Z-Wiz casting from Hot Wheels from the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, was a favorite casting of mine. And I actually had a Datsun, not a Nissan, a Datsun 280Z. The first year the 280 came out, the casting was based on I believe the 240, but the 260 had the same body. So I modeled it after the 260. And And basically, this is the car. The wheels, I actually like this particular wheel from Hot Wheels. You know, it's, I don't know. But so the neat thing about this is, again, I created an opening hood that cleared the front. I'll try to do this so that you can actually see it. That cleared the front bumper. And it's not going to work. Here we go. All right. So, well, all right, there. It's got to slide forward first. So it slides forward. See if I can get this and show it to you. So it slides forward and then lifts up and clears the front bumper. It's made out of piano wire and 2 pieces of copper tubing. The piano wire floats freely between the 2 tubings and allows for the movement. The interior is customized. I added details based on my own recollection. Had a custom piece of vinyl. Now the 280 did not have carburetors, but the 260 did. So I crafted this engine as best I could from photos, and it is the triple carb. Beyond that, there's not much more detail to it. The stick shift is a little bit more detailed, and the tiered center console, maybe if I took this out like this, is more in line with the original casting. Now, Hot Wheels came out with a new 240Z. It's a very good casting, and there's some things that I did with that, but basically this was before that. Again, this gives you a little bit more detail of how the hinge works. There's 2 copper pieces, one nested inside the this inset here, and then the other is right here attached to the hood, and it's just a custom piece of piano wire with the engine. So that all came together. I'm not going to put the interior in, but just to show you, it closes and slides back. It's loose. I'm not an engineer, okay, so back off. Anyways, it's got the opening there. One of my favorite castings. Wanted to do a little bit more with detail and stuff, and so actually let me show you this 57 Chevrolet. This was the Hot Wheels casting. If you remember the Shazoom, Coddington Boyd had created the Chevrolet where he took the cowl from a 59 Chevrolet Impala and blended it into the 57 Chevrolet, and that is what I've done here. This cowl is from the 59 Impala. It is not the 57 Chevrolet, and it's proven here by the way this comes back. The interior from the Impala fit in it, as does the windshield, as does the chassis. I did take the grill from another car. The only problem with this is that I didn't want the engine, and at the time the Hot Wheels casting only had the engine in it, and I've tried to smooth this out. I think I can still go back to it. I also did this massive rake on the car, which basically swooped it back and gave it like a jacked up front end. Underneath here you can see the purple from the 59 casting here, and then the engine bay. So it's just a lot of Bondo filled in there. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. Moving right along, the Impala was another car that came out. This is the 65 Impala. I had to think about it there for a second. And this was created about maybe within the same year that this casting first came out. You'll notice that the doors are gone, but you'll also notice the same mechanism with the hood where it pops forward. And the hinge is broken, but that's okay. The hood popped forward like this, and then the trunk, which I believe the hinge is missing as well, open from the rear, so it was sort of like a scissor. You'll see the booming stereo sound in the back with the rolled, the tuck and roll interior of the trunk. And the coolest part, of course, is the Corvette engine from a Racing Champions Corvette that I had. It fits snugly in there. Take the casting off. You can see how I made the cuts. Did a little bit more detail on the center console and put a vinyl floor at the base. And so I stopped this to work on some other stuff. This plastic piece here serves as a stop for the piano wire so that the doors would open. Moving right along, I'm going to get into this one, and this will be the last one in the series. is Dodge Ram had created this experimental vehicle called the T-Rex, which was a 6-wheeled truck. It never went into production, but it looked pretty cool, so I wanted to make one. This is the Dodge 1500 truck. I married it to a hose scale 6x9 troop transport truck. I put the Hot Wheels knobbies on it. It rolls. The coolest part, of course, is the articulated rear axle, and if you can see this, it actually is articulated. It rolls. I made the bed for it, but it looked a little choppy, and I like the new Dodge pickup casting, so I'm actually going to redo this and put it together. But this is actually fun to play with. Here you can see at the bottom the Hot Wheels casting, and I just married the entire chassis from the truck into this to make sure that the wheels didn't float around too much, and one of them has fallen off. You can barely see this, but there's just a little piece of red insulation from the wiring. It kind of just wraps around the axle and keeps it from sliding back and forth. The other one was over here, but it allowed for free rolling, and pretty cool, still fun to play with. And I think I'm going to sneak in, no, I'll save it for the next one. There's some other chop jobs that I've done, so this will be the second video for the night. Thanks, and